Okay. So now let me take, let's start from the beginning. Let's hook up the login to the home. That's the last thing we need to do. And on that one, we're going to add a delay in order to simulate that loading process. So there's one or two elements of complexity we're adding. So let's go back to the Android manifest. We'll take this intent filter here. I'm going to cut, right? Cut. And we'll take that up to the beginning. Where are we? Login activity. Good. Right after that. Okay. So let's just make sure that it logs in the right spot. Okay, good. We're here. Okay, so now what we need to do is from, let's see, login. This is, login password is the last login, right? So from here, we need to click this button and we need to go to our home screen. So first, let's add a button over here. Okay, let's make the alpha 0. Okay, let's go ahead and call this on home, right? Because that's where we're going. We're going on home. Okay, lock that in. Text on home, great. Let's go to the Java. Let's at least set up our button click first. Okay, so public void on home view v curly braces. Okay, now whatever happens when we click that is gonna, the code in here is gonna run. Okay, whenever we click on home. Okay, option return to get rid of that. It says import class this time. Yes, that's what we want to do. Import class. So on some level, at some point, we want to do this, right? We want to, just like we've always been doing, have an intent, right? That's a new intent. We want to tell it, okay, well, where are we at now? We're in our login password activity. And we want to go to our home activity, right? And we want to tell it, we're going to have to tell it, we'll start this activity. So I'm going to give a little space here. So for our delay method, we're going to write in new handler dot post delayed. Okay, and you know what? It's going to autofill better if I do my little option return on here. This is, which one? Is it an Android OS or it's an Android OS handler? Okay. Let's go back here. New handler dot post. Okay, good. Post delayed. And in the post delayed, I'm going to say new runnable. And it's going to kind of autofill all that for me, comma. And then this is going to be what the delay is in milliseconds. Okay, long delay, delay in milliseconds. Okay, and then at the very end, we need our semicolon. Okay, good. So anything that's in here will run, but it's going to wait for 3 seconds first. So before, this is our intent, right? I'm going to cut this out. And I'm going to paste that in here. So it's going to wait 3 seconds and then run. Let's see if that works. Okay, there we go. Email. Click here. Click here. Okay, now it should wait 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Woohoo! Awesome. Now, to make this one step closer to loading, what we want to do is I want to switch that background image for that 3 seconds to the static loading state. Okay, it's not going to have the spinning thing, but at least it'll be simulating that loading state. So here's what we're going to do. So this is the delay, but before, right when I click, I want it to immediately switch image. Okay, so let's go back to the design here. And in the design, I'm going to give this image view here, right, that's holding the background, I'm going to give it an ID so that I can talk to it in the code. So ID, oops, is the button. image view. I want to make sure I'm selected that ID. I'm going to call this back image. I'm going to call this, well, let's call this background. Background image view. Usually, notice how this is that camel casing too, right? Where you have lowercase and then everything else is uppercase, the starting of words. So the reason I'm calling it this is I want to know, just looking at this, that this is an image view. And the background tells me what's in it, right? So if I saw this, I know it was an image view. Background, pretty safe to say that probably the background image is going to be in it. Okay, so good. So tab again, or return, okay, so now that's locked in, background image view. Now, if I check my text, I can see here in my image view that Android ID background image view. Okay, let's go back here. So I'm going to make a new variable, and it's going to be of the type, it's going to be a new image view. Okay, and I'm going to call it background image view. I'm going to name it the same thing as the idea, or as the ID, just to keep things consistent, okay? And I'm going to say this new variable is equal to something that's of type image view, but which image view is it? Okay, so we're going to say it's of type image view. We're going to use this little method here, find view by ID. So find view by ID. Well, what's the ID? Well, we just gave it an ID, right? But we have to tell it where to look. So R, that stands for resources, kind of like we use for the anim, but instead of r.anim, we say r.id dot, and it's going to have a lot of options. And so when we say BA, look, it already says, oh, you're talking about the background image view? Oh, yeah, I know that image view. They're cool. Okay, don't forget the semicolon. So now we've basically said background image view is that specific image view. Now what I need to do is I need to set the image that's in it. So if I say, okay, so I'm talking about background image view, and I want to set image drawable. Remember, drawable are images, and in order to do that, I need to go get resources, and while I'm in the resources, I need to get drawable. Sorry, dot get drawable. It's like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Okay, and what drawable are we talking about? Well, let's look in here at our drawables. We have this one here, Tumblr loading, right? This is what we want. So I need to get SCN Tumblr loading. So let's go back here and say, I need you to get in the resources. That's the R. I need you to go into the drawables folder. Okay, and I need you to get the screenshot SCN Tumblr loading. There it is. Boom. Okay, so that's going to set the image to that. So when we push the button, it should set the image right away to that, and then it should hold for 3 seconds and then do the transition. Let's see if we actually can get that to happen here. All right, click on email to get it focused, do some typing, type in my password, and loading. There we go, awesome. We can click through here, back, go through our tabs, our likes, and back. Okay, well that concludes this course and this demo. So check out the challenge and see how well you can do that. I know you're going to do great.